while dinosaurs vanished 65 million years ago. That is a gap of more than 60 million years.
China?
There is simply no overlap. Yet religious texts place all of life in one short timeline. That is because those texts were based on human imagination, not scientific observation. Let us also consider what happened after humans began to find dinosaur bones. People were amazed but confused. Some thought they belonged to giants mentioned in old myths. Others believed they were bones of creatures killed in the Great Flood. It took years of scientific study to understand that these were remains of a completely different world, a world that existed long before humans. Once again, it was science that filled the gaps left by religion. Even today, some religious people continue to deny dinosaurs or claim they were placed on Earth by
stupid!
But think about how unreasonable that idea is. Why would a god hide millions of fossils across every continent, each one fitting perfectly into geological layers, just to test human belief? Why create a false history of life that perfectly matches evolution? That kind of trickery would make the creator deceitful, not divine. The truth is much simpler. Dinosaurs are not mentioned in religious books because those books were written by humans who knew nothing about them. They wrote about what they saw. Their knowledge was limited to their time. They could not have known about creatures that lived millions of years before their existence. These texts are reflections of ancient human ignorance, not divine wisdom. And this absence tells us something powerful. It tells us that moral stories and ancient traditions cannot replace real evidence. We discover dinosaurs through science, through curiosity, through questions that religion could never answer. The fossils in the ground are not fake. They are silent witnesses to a time long before myths were written, long before temples and churches and mosques were built. Dinosaurs remind us of how vast nature truly is. They remind us that life on Earth does not revolve around us, that humans are just another chapter in a much larger story. Religion tried to make us believe that everything exists for our sake. But dinosaurs prove otherwise. They existed for millions of years, thrived, evolved, and vanished, without any connection to humans or divine judgment. This is why their absence from religious texts matters. It exposes that those texts are not universal truths about life, but reflections of human understanding from thousands of years ago. The Earth was already ancient when those texts were written. Life had already gone through countless transformations. Dinosaurs were long gone, and humans were just beginning to wonder where they came from. The absence of dinosaurs in religious books also exposes how human beings once viewed time. Ancient writers thought in terms of generations, not eons. To them, 1,000 years was a long time. They could not even imagine millions or billions of years. So when they described the beginning of the world, they placed it just a few thousand years before their own lives. That is why almost all religious calendars, whether based on the Bible, the Quran, or other texts, begin only a few thousand years ago. But when science began studying fossils, rock layers, and cosmic radiation, we discovered that the Earth is around 4.5 billion years old. That is beyond the imagination of any ancient writer. This misunderstanding of time is the main reason dinosaurs are missing from every holy text. You cannot fit 165 million years of dinosaur life into a story that says the entire universe was created in a week. The timelines simply cannot exist together. So instead of revising their beliefs, religious leaders preferred to ignore or deny evidence that contradicted their books. Some religious apologists today try to reinterpret ancient scriptures to include dinosaurs. They say things like, maybe the Leviathan in the Bible was a sea dinosaur, or maybe the behemoth was a brontosaurus. But these interpretations are forced. They ignore the actual meaning and historical context of those words. The word Leviathan simply meant a large sea creature, like a whale or crocodile, known to people of that region. It was never meant to describe a prehistoric animal. The behemoth was described as eating grass, having bones like bronze, and moving its tail like a cedar tree. That description fits a large mammal like an elephant or hippopotamus, not a dinosaur.
No, it doesn't describe an elephant. An elephant doesn't have a tail like a
trying to make an ancient story fit modern science with no evidence. It is also important to understand how religion and science handle questions differently. Religion starts with a claim and asks followers to believe it without evidence. Science starts with a question and looks for evidence before making a claim. That is why when fossils were found, science asked, "What are these bones? How old are they? What do they tell us about life?" Religion, on the other hand, asked, "How can we fit this discovery into our already fixed beliefs?" That difference in attitude is why science keeps moving forward while religion remains stuck in the past. Let us take a real historical example. When Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species in 1859, he did not know much about dinosaurs. Fossil discoveries were still new at the time. But his theory of evolution by natural selection gave the key to understanding them. It showed that all species, including dinosaurs, evolved through gradual changes over time. Later, when more fossils were found, they perfectly fit into Darwin's framework. Every new discovery confirmed evolution. That is the power of science. It can predict and explain things that were unknown before. Now imagine if religious books had truly come from an all-knowing creator. They could have described this process thousands of years before Darwin. They could have said, "Life changes and evolves over time." They could have mentioned that some creatures lived long before humans and left their bones deep in the earth. They could have predicted what we would later discover, but they did not. They described a world that was created instantly and perfectly, without evolution or extinction. That idea has been proven false by every fossil, every bone, and every geological layer we have studied. Some believers argue that maybe God did not think it was important to mention dinosaurs, but that argument fails too. Religious books mention many things that are far less important: what to eat, what to wear, how to sacrifice animals, or even how to treat slaves. If a book that claims to describe creation spends chapters on small social rules, but ignores hundreds of millions of years of biological history, then its priorities are clearly human, not divine. Dinosaurs also reveal something profound about life's nature: extinction. They show that no matter how dominant or powerful a species is, it can disappear. That truth alone could have been one of the greatest lessons in any holy book, if those books truly came from a higher mind. But ancient religions were focused only on human survival, sin, and obedience. The idea that species could go extinct was beyond their imagination. They believed every animal existed exactly as it was created. But the fossil record proves otherwise. Extinction is a normal part of nature, not a punishment or divine act. It is simply the result of environmental change and evolution. Another argument sometimes made by believers is that dinosaurs were created and destroyed before Adam, so there was no need to mention them. But this argument still creates a problem. If dinosaurs lived before humans, then that directly contradicts the idea that the world was made for humans. It means creation did not begin with us or for us. It means the earth existed independently of human purpose. That completely undermines the human-centered view of religion. If anything, it shows that humans are not special creations, but late arrivals in a much larger story of life. Look at the natural world we see today. We find fossils in deserts, mountains, and even beneath cities. Some are perfectly preserved footprints or skeletons of creatures that roamed long before humans existed. How could a divine book not mention even a hint of this vast and fascinating history? If those books were meant to be timeless sources, then why are they filled only with the knowledge available to ancient herders and farmers? The answer is simple: because they were written by ancient herders and farmers. When paleontologists study fossils, they find a clear and consistent pattern of life evolving and dying out across millions of years. Each fossil layer tells a story. The deeper the layer, the older the fossil. This perfect order across the entire planet cannot be a coincidence or a trick. It is evidence of deep time and gradual evolution. Yet none of this knowledge comes from religion. It all comes from human curiosity and scientific effort. Let us also consider how religious institutions responded when these discoveries started spreading. Instead of celebrating new knowledge about creation, many religious authorities saw it as a threat. Churches banned certain books. Imams warned believers not to question holy texts, and religious teachers dismissed fossils as illusions. For centuries, faith fought against evidence. But the evidence never went away. Fossils continued to be found. Skeletons of creatures like Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops, and Velociraptor stood in museums as undeniable proof that the Earth's history is far longer and more complex than any scripture ever claimed. If we compare the fossil record to the stories in holy books, we see two very different kinds of truth. One is based on evidence, measurable and observable. The other is based on belief, passed down through tradition. The fossil record changes and grows as we discover more.
Come on, you slut slut.
Remain frozen in time. They cannot adapt without losing authority. That is why every new scientific discovery puts more pressure on ancient beliefs. Dinosaurs also give us a humbling perspective. They remind us that the Earth does not belong to us, and that nature operates by its own laws, not by the rules of any religion. For millions of years, dinosaurs lived, evolved, and vanished, without prayer, sin, or divine guidance. Life existed long before religion, and it will continue long after religion fades away. That realization is both humbling and liberating. The more we study fossils, the more we understand that life is not about purpose or divine plan. It is about adaptation and survival. Some species flourish, others vanish. Humans, like dinosaurs, are temporary. One day, we too might disappear, leaving behind traces for another intelligent species to study millions of years from now. This is the real story of life. One that religion could never tell because it never knew it. If there is one thing dinosaurs teach us, it is that knowledge grows when we question and explore. For centuries, humans accepted stories that claimed to explain everything. But those stories could not explain fossils in the rocks, or the age of the Earth, or the stars in the sky. Only science could. The absence of dinosaurs in religious books is not just an oversight. It is a reminder that those books were written by humans with limited understanding. They spoke about the world they could see, not the one that truly was. And maybe that is the real lesson. The world is far older, deeper, and more mysterious than any ancient text imagined. We do not need myths to appreciate it. We only need curiosity, honesty, and the courage to face facts. Dinosaurs are a perfect symbol of that truth. A reminder that reality does not need to fit into old stories. It stands on its own.
He'd bring out that whore!
Fossils, and time itself. When we look at a dinosaur fossil, we are looking at a chapter of Earth's autobiography. One written millions of years before the first human ever picked up a pen. Religion had nothing to say about it, but science helped us read it. That difference tells us everything about where real knowledge comes from. So the next time someone says their holy book explains the entire history of the world, you can simply ask, then where are the dinosaurs? They will have no real answer, because the truth is, the fossils in the ground speak louder than any scripture ever could. That is the story religion missed, and science uncovered. The story of a world far greater, far older, and far more fascinating than any ancient text ever imagined.
God damn it. Suck my motherfucking dick, bitch. Suck my slut. God damn it. God damn it. Stupid goddamn motherfucker. Don't even think about it, slut! Stupid! Mutt! I fucked his hoe! Stupid bitch. Mutt! Come on, you cunt. Now fuck up and overlook this so I can stick my dick up your pointy butt. Stupid! Mutt! Stupid! You absent-minded bitch. Stupid! Are you losing on purpose? Are you sandbagging? Ah! Slut. I'm fixing to ear your rook. Like cutting off your right ear. Stupid! Dumbass. I fucked his hoe!